T-shirt, Los Angeles, 2025.
Oh, welcome to Out on the Lanai, the only Golden Girls podcast you're ever going to need to listen to. I'm HAlanScott / Sadie Pines.
I'm Kerri Doherty, and today we are bringing you another Golden Rewind, where we go back and rewatch our favorite episodes of the Golden Girls and offer new insights since we first started breaking down these episodes way back in 2014. And it's time to grab Mother Dorothy for an I Like Lucy marathon, because we just rewatched Season 2, Episode 23, Son-in-Law Dearest, and fasten your seatbelt, slut puppies, because we have a surprise for you.
Surprise, surprise. I mean, they saw the title, so it's not a total surprise. I love it when we do that a lot on this podcast, where we think we're like, no one reads anything, and they just press play, and then we're like, we got a surprise. And then midway through, we're like, oh, wait, there's a title.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to stop saying surprise. Everyone, we had the pleasure recently of having fantastic chat. The honor of interviewing Deena Freeman, a.k.a. Kate, from this episode.
Kate number two.
Kate number two.
Yes.
Becky number 2. Kate number 2. So many number twos.
We didn't have Becky number 2, and we had Becky number 1 on years ago. We need to have Becky number 1 on again.
Yes.
Sean Chaps. But
Yes.
Becky number 2, unfortunately, has passed.
Yes.
Yes.
But not our guest.
Not Kate number 2.
Not Kate. No, not Deena Freeman. Deena was awesome. It was so wonderful talking to her
Loved
about
her.
playing
such a spirit, such
Kate.
spunky, so spunky.
She was so great. She talked about, like, you know, because she now teaches and mentors young actors, and she had. It was so interesting to listen to her now at her age reflect back on kind of the choices she made back then. There was an acting choice that she's like, I regretted it for so long, in like this big scene with B. Arthur. She talked about what it was like to wear a Blanche-inspired nightgown on the show.
Which I loved. I feel like they reused that nightgown. I feel like they reused her nightgown.
They had to have, because it's so beautiful. She had the most gorgeous nightgown. We asked her if she would have personally forgiven Dennis, the foot doctor. We talked about so much great stuff. We're going to give you, after we recap Son-in-Law Dearest, we're going to give you a little taste of that interview. But the full interview, our full chat with Deena, all the good juicy stuff, will be over on Patreon at the GGVIP Club at patreon.com/Golden Girls Podcast. You can check out the rest.
One. And also,
too,
you know, while you're there, you can listen to all the other ones and you can even just do it for the month. If you don't want to be $8 forever, you can just binge everything 1 month for $8 and the rest is $5 or whatever. Or you can do it. You can subscribe for free too, even on the Patreon, like, and get all our posts there and stuff.
We've racked up a lot of interviews now. We just talked to Allison Porter, aka Melissa.
I mean,
Blanche's granddaughter,
and so many from years past too. I mean, there's like, we have more to go because there's a lot to this Golden Girls archive we need to fill.
Yep. So,
and I want to have some old guests back, you know, some guests that we had previously in the original run, like the first, you know, when we did the full recap. I want to have some of them back on and talk to them and have a different conversation now, you know?
I would love that. I would love that. So we hope, if you're in Patreon, we hope you enjoy the interview. We hope you enjoy the little bit that we're going to tease today. Before I forget, I hope for anybody watching the video version of this, I got my Betty White stamps. Check them out.
Yay! Oh, mine are over there. I'm going to frame one sheet of them that I have.
I was going to do that too.
Yeah, I need to figure out how to go about doing that, but I'm going to frame it.
Yeah.
I'm not good at framing things. I'm not good at, like, I have printed out photos and things that I never frame, but on my wall, on, like, as we enter, you know, our home here, we have a hallway and I have like a wall of photos, and that's lovely to pass. So I need to put more there.
I like that.
I've thought about putting stuff behind me for, like, in videos and stuff, but then I feel like it would just inspire people to ask questions about what's behind me. Do you know what I mean?
If you ever look behind me, I am up in our the loft up in our bedroom, and there's a mess behind me. Not a single person has ever asked. Look, I literally have the book that Henry Winkler's character in the show Barry, the acting book that Henry Winkler had. Nobody's ever looked at that and called that out. Nobody's ever called out, look at this. This is a Golden Girls original artwork behind me.
Yeah.
that Dario Canizia, one of our guests from a long time ago, did for me. Like, I've got shit behind me nobody's ever asked.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll ask.
Maybe I should get creative. I don't know, but I also feel very Kardashian with it, just beige. You know what I mean? Just beige.
Yeah,
because
I like it.
The color comes from me. Everything else is beige.
And everything is very warm on your side. My side reads like chaotic mom.
No, no. Your side reads like busy office, and I accidentally locked myself in here and got real angry. You know what I mean? Like it
got real angry.
Got real angry and was like, I'm just gonna put it here. I'm just gonna put it here.
Yeah, I mean, it does tell
like
some kind of a story.
Do you ever get like that where sometimes you just put something down and you're like, I'm not dealing with you right now, and then weeks pass?
Not usually, no. I like things in their place, and I almost always know where I've put something.
No, I have stuff that sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, and it's like years later that I remember it.
If I don't want any access to it, then yeah, I'll bring it up to the loft. Like right now, like Stan and I have kind of turned this into our, when we were in our 20s and collected a lot of cool stuff room. It's got like all of his action figures. It has like my Golden Girls candles. I've got some really old VHS movies that were my grandma's. We've got like Lego sets, just all sorts of stuff that
I feel like the girls, and they had that episode where they had the garage sale. So of course we know that they definitely collected things over the years, but their house does not seem very particularly cluttered. I wouldn't say in a way that I would think the four of them actually, like, I would expect Sophia's room to be like a hoarder's room.
I mean, look, I think there are closets in which the inside we have not seen. I think that there is. I think that there is clutter in closets somewhere. Ooh,
did you just come up with an album title?
Well, speaking of the Rusty Anchor Happy Hour, I'm going to tack on a little something. You and I are going to do something special for the Rusty Anchor Happy Hour today, but I think it would be a great idea for us to also talk about what each Golden Girl would put in their junk closet. What you would find, what you would find in each woman's closet.
Wow.
Not even their junk closet.
I want to know
what's
in your junk closet too. I mean, we have this one closet again in our hallway. There, I just put something in it the other day because I got a new air fryer, and I put my old air fryer over there because I'm just like, I'll deal with it later. It's just in the closet now.
Oh, you can sell an air fryer on Facebook Marketplace for like $20.
I know, but you have to deal with people, and I don't want to deal with people, and I don't like people coming to my place.
Well, you always give them an address that's like 2 doors down, and you meet them there.
Could I then use the money that I'm getting from selling the object to hire someone to sell the object for me?
I mean, I guess so, because either way, you're coming out on top because you're freeing up space. You're just not making any money. You have to decide what's most important for you in this situation.
I'd rather have a cluttered closet than have some stranger come over to my place, honestly.
Can I just tell you, I sell stuff on Facebook Marketplace all the time. Don't look me up. I'm not under there on my real name, everybody. But I sell stuff all the time.
Again, that scares me even more, that people can use fake identities on Facebook Marketplace, and then like the stranger comes over and he tells me his name's Joe, but it's really Billy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But yeah.
Wait, but you sell all the time. What do you like? Have you had what were you going to say? Or do you have an experience?
Oh, well, I was going to say I sell all the time. I sell stuff. I sell old clothes that are little Oreos, and it's usually not a pain in the butt. You just have to communicate with somebody. And for me, like, the money's always worth it. But recently I was selling literally a sweater. It was a long, Stan's cousin gave me this like Free People long boho cardigan. It like weighs 1,000,000 pounds. It's big, it's comfy, it's purple, it's really cute. But I was like, I don't know. I don't think I have the closet space for this. So I was like, I'm going to sell it. And I listed it, and all these people reach out and they go, like,
how much did you get?
They go, well, let me just tell you, I listed it for $20 because I was like, that's fine. It'll just be a quick, easy, whatever. I got it for free. So many people messaged me about it, being like, what's the material? Asking me all these questions. And I go, oh, here's the material. And they go, is it heavy? Do you think it would fit me? Here's my height and my weight. And I'm like, totally fine to answer these questions. And then they go, what part of town are you in? And when I tell them, they go, oh, that's too far. I'm like, one, lead with that question. 2, I have it. If you look on Facebook, it tells you, it gives you a radius. I'm like, I'm on this side of town. You know, around where I am.
Everything you're saying is exactly the reason why I don't want to be on Facebook Marketplace.
But
it's
then
the human interaction.
Just wanted to get rid of it. Yeah. This woman messaged me. She was like, I'll pay the $20. Can you ship it to me? And I'll pay whatever shipping is. And I was like, oh, that's worse. Shipping, it's worse. I would rather just because I would rather take the object, walk outside of my place, go down the end of the block, give it to someone, take the cash, come home. I had to find a box. I had to fit it in the box. I had to wrap. It was like squeezing itself into the box. I had to wrap it in the clear tape. I had to put an address on it. I had to drive to the post office. I had to calculate shipping beforehand and then get this woman to Venmo me the money.
Yeah.
And I had to wait in line. And I hated that, but I did get my Betty White stamps.
Oh.
That's kind of the end of the story. I shipped it.
I don't think Facebook Marketplace is for me, but I know that Rose would be an active seller on Facebook Marketplace, and I also believe that I think Dorothy would too. Dorothy would be selling books on Facebook Marketplace. I bet. Yeah, Blanche. I think she would too. Blanche would not. She would use it for a way to meet men.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Blanche would be. She would decide what kind of man she wants to meet. If she's into, you know, if she wants like a really smart, sophisticated man, she's going to say she has like the first edition, some Lewis Carroll book. It's the same thing with the convertible. Yes. I got this thing. Come over and check it out. And
she'd be asking you about that sweater, and she'd be like, "Is it real heavy? But how heavy is it? Show me a picture of you in it."
That's totally what she would do. And you know what? I might entertain it.
Yeah.
I'd ask Stan first. I'd be like, hey, this hot woman named Blanche Devereaux is asking me to put on and take pictures.
She'd be going by an alias. She'd be called Magenta.
Magenta or Tiger Lily or just
Tiger
Bed.
Lily. Yeah, Bed. Yeah, it would just be Bed. Bed, Miami. I don't know what number she would use, but Bed Miami. That's what Bed Miami. Good times.
Yeah.
Should we get to the episode? I feel like
we're just well, we could go forever. This is what it's like when we hang out together.
This is a rusty anchor. This is a rusty anchor. This is a normal rusty anchor preview. Well, okay, so we're gonna do the episode, and then we're gonna come back after that at the end of the episode with Deena Freeman, K number 2. Exciting. Yay! We'll be right back. Bye.
So even though this is Deena's first appearance on the show, this is actually Kate, the character's second appearance on the show. So if everybody knows, her first appearance was season 1, episode 2, Guess Who's Coming to the Wedding, where Dorothy's forced to reunite with Stan for the first time. Oh, so good. For the first time since their divorce, when Kate gets married to Dennis, the podiatrist.
Yes.
And now Kate's married. She's on her way to visit Dorothy. Dorothy is convinced that she's going to announce that she's pregnant because Sophia talked to Kate on the phone and she said she had some big news to tell them in person, and then she had to go because she had to throw up.
I'd be embarrassed to be married to a podiatrist because,
really?
Yeah, I mean, and they make jokes about it in the episode, I know, but like, it's kind of a boring doctor.
But everybody needs their feet. Feet deserve love too.
I'm sure there's people listening who love feet, and I've had experiences in my life dating with whatever, but I don't
go on. Save for the rest of your happy hour.
Yeah, there's a funny. I actually have a really funny story. But yeah, no, I don't get it. And I just feel like if I'm gonna marry a doctor, it has to be a plastic surgeon or like a Harry Weston. You know, it needs to be a children's doctor or like something that adds a level of like. Oh, or oh, you know, but it can't be, oh. That's what a podiatrist is. Like if I met a podiatrist at a party, I'd be like, oh, and I wouldn't have a follow-up question. Actually, no, I would. I would be like, what's the grossest feet you've ever seen? And do you get off when you see the gross feet? Like, do you get excited? Because it's like work. It's like finally you have something to do. Whereas like a plastic surgeon, you can always see something fucked up in people. Or a children's doctor, you're basically like next to God. So like, you know, like, so those are, it's the levels. He's in the,
Let me ask you where this would fall in. I have a doctor that I go to. He is a very handsome homosexual.
Ooh, children's doctor, or is he your doctor?
He's my doctor.
Okay.
He's my OBGYN.
Oh, that's even hotter. I love that.
Is it?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I love having a hot doctor.
He does deliver babies. So like if it's in the realm of hot, you know, the child, you know, being, I don't want to say hot children and hot babies in the same sentence, but if like a guy who treats children and babies is considered sexy because that's such a noble thing to do. There it is. I brought it back.
That's noble, but noble can also be sexy too. So like the fact that he's hot and he does a noble doctor thing, that's even hotter.
But that's like a quarter of the job is delivering babies. The rest of it is looking at vaginas all day.
Yeah. Cool. Like, I mean,
okay.
I'm into it. My doctor's hot too, and he gets to see me naked, and I feel like it's appropriate. I feel like I think the world is better when there's a hot person seeing this mess, and then they don't run away or they don't like, you know, prescribe something crazy like an ointment just because something is like, you know, not pretty. Like I like having a hot doctor. I think it's a bragging right.
Okay.
Yeah. You should pull a Samantha from Sex and the City and brag about your hot OBGYN.
Okay. I'll show you a picture of him.
Oh God, you have pictures too.
Well,
my friend John,
from the internet. I don't take pictures of him in the doctor's office.
Just saving those pictures from the internet.
Where am I going to put the camera?
My friend John has a doctor who has, I don't know if I should go into details, but he's like a hot doctor.
You shouldn't, because we're only 8 seconds into the episode of the Golden Girls that we're here to talk about today.
Let's get to it.
Well, one thing I noticed this time around watching it is when you compare Deena as a Kate to Lisa Jane Persky, who played Kate number 1.
Deena's got spunk.
She has spunk. I think this Deena looks more like she would be the daughter of Dorothy and Stan. I think
agree.
Lisa Jane Persky, who played Kate number 1, looks more like she'd be the daughter of the actor who played Gloria number 1. Not Gloria number 2, but Gloria number 1, because they both have red hair.
I was going to say the first Kate looks more related to like Rose than Deena. Deena looks like she's related to Stan and Dorothy. Like there's a family, and there's also a coolness factor to Deena, because Deena, and you'll hear it in our chat with Deena. Deena is cool. Deena is like chill. Deena's very fluid and organic in how she speaks, and there's a confidence to how she speaks that's very like just legit. And that's Dorothy's daughter. Like Dorothy's daughter is going to speak with confidence, is going to have an edge to her, is going to be a little different in how she rationalizes things. And like all of those things, I think Deena delivers in a great way. It's very similar to me, speaking also of Lenny Green, of doing Dorothy, young Dorothy, in that, you know, she got the relation, she got the assignment, and Deena got the assignment on what exactly it means to be the daughter of Stan and Dorothy. Yeah.
It was she was great. She was so great in this.
Yeah.
So Stan shows up, and we learned that Kate also got a hold of Stan, who's like, "Yeah, I came by because I wanted to hear the news too." Which is like, I know we talked about this in our sort of evolution of Dorothy and Stan's relationship, but again, it's another reminder that when you share children with someone, you can never fully separate yourself from that person. You're always tied together somehow.
Wrap it up.
One sperm with a sense of direction, and I'm paying for it for the rest of my life.
I'm just saying.
When Kate actually does show up, Dorothy is shocked to learn what she actually has to say. And I do want to play this entrance. I want to play this moment because it is Kate's entrance. It's Deena's entrance. But then there's also a really great Dorothy joke.
Mom! Honey! Oh!
Hello, Princess.
Daddy.
Oh,
Honey, so good to see you again. Oh, you look wonderful.
I guess you have some pretty big news for us, huh, Kate?
Rose, I don't give them their privacy.
Oh, you don't have to go. The two of you are like family. I can say this in front of you.
I knew it. I knew it. I just knew it. Oh, Stanley, I'm so happy.
Dennis had an affair and I've left him.
Dan, take your damn hands off me!
Here's the thing. So okay. Where does she live? Where does Kate live? Is it New York? It might be New York.
I forget.
But not in Miami. And
no,
so,
because they have a plane to catch. So
yes.
you at least know wherever it is they're getting on a plane.
Yeah. So if my partner had an affair, first off, I don't think I'd be running to mommy. But second,
God, no.
I would never. I would deal with it. In fact, I wouldn't even mind. But that's another story. But I do wonder, like, why she just wouldn't say some of this over the phone. You know what I mean? Like, why the, like, to me, I get the understanding of, like, you want to talk about a baby in person, or you want to, like, you know, have, like, really happy news in person because you want to see that person's reaction and you want to, like, be in the moment with them. But for something very, like, bad, like an illness or like an affair or a divorce or something like that, I think you can just get that over the phone so the person who you're going to isn't sitting there the whole time being like, I wonder what it is. I wonder what it is.
Well, I think she didn't do it over the phone because she wanted to get away from Dennis, and she finds comfort in her parents.
Payphones exist in this era. She could go somewhere else and make a phone call.
No, I know, but I also think that, like, because what's that phone call, right? She's just going to say,
I'm coming because Dennis had an affair and I'll be there tomorrow. Please prepare because I'm going to be sad. Make sure you have all my snacks, Mom.
Maybe, but then, I don't know. If I were in Kate's position, either way, she's leaving them hanging. But,
Which is mean.
I don't know. I don't think it's mean necessarily, but, you know, if I were her, I probably just would have said, like, hey, you know, I'm going to, you know, she may have wanted to make sure that Dorothy and Stan were going to be around. For her to ask, here's the thing, she wanted both of her parents there. For her to ask them both to be in town, because does Stan even live in Miami?
Yeah, it might be in Hawaii now.
Does he still live in Maui? Like, I don't know. Maybe he lives in Miami, but she wanted them both there.
Every time I go visit my folks, and I have never, I don't think ever visited, well, when I got cancer, I did, like, visited my folks for, like, a bad reason or a scary reason. But beyond that, it's always just been happy visits. And every single time I go visit my folks, we have the conversation, okay, what snacks, what things should I get? This just feels rude. Because my mom would not, and my mom would be very like, I didn't prepare. I didn't go to the grocery store. I didn't get Diet Coke.
Oh, that's very sweet. Yeah. Yeah. So it is what she chose to do. The other thing that I really like about this, and it's just such great storytelling about the Golden Girls, is that, you know, and again, we did talk about this on our deep dive into Stan and Dorothy, but it is such an interesting parallel between mother and daughter. These two women whose husbands have cheated on them. You know, I'm sure a lot of Dorothy's anger towards Dennis is, you know, a bit of, you know, her own anger towards Stanley. And then later, what I love in this episode, there's also a parallel between Dorothy and Sophia, because like Dorothy, Sophia too was once the mother of a young daughter whose husband fooled around, and she had to learn to stay out of her kid's life. Like, just what rich character storytelling on these early seasons.
Yeah, really good.
It's so good. It's so good. And so yes, Dennis cheated. Kate says she's shocked. She's like, we had no problems. We have no idea. I have no idea why this happened. And then Stanley asks if there are any problems between the sheets, because that's why men usually cheat. Like that's really, Mr. 30 Seconds? Dorothy says, oh,
I hate that shit. I hate it.
Like,
it's gross. It's
Stan,
gross. But it's also very much of the era. It's also very Stan, and I love Stan.
Yes. We love Stan.
But it's also kind of like, come on, dude. Really? Especially knowing the experience that you have with your ex-wife. Like, come on. Like, don't say these things, you know?
Yeah, it's one thing to say, like, to Dorothy, keep your chins up too, because they do that.
You know what's interesting?
But for him to say it to Kate, it was kind of like, Stan, come on, man.
I know, be a dad. But you know what's interesting here is that, like, I notice in Dorothy and Stan's relationship, which we will do the episode someday, more of the deep dive of sort of Stan and Dorothy's relationship. But there is something here where I noticed that like that animosity really only exists, like Stan basically being mean to Dorothy really only existed in the first couple of seasons. And then there was a clear shift into making Stan into sort of like a putz, into sort of a like needy Dorothy, in need of Dorothy. And it really was after Chrissy and all that, like after that whole fell apart, that Stan became more dependent on Dorothy and he became less mean. But in this episode, he says some pretty mean things.
Oh, and Dorothy, I gotta give it to her. You know, she handled it like a champ because I think deep down Dorothy's like, this isn't about you and I today. This is about our daughter. Like, if I need to quickly give it back to you, I will. But like, she could have made a whole thing about it. She could have kicked him out of her house, but she didn't. Yeah, she could have. Yeah. Also, Stan's new toupee, it was kind of giving me Elvis vibes. I liked it.
Interesting.
Yeah, I liked it.
I'm at that part of the Barbra Streisand memoir where she talks about the possibility of casting Elvis in A Star Is Born in 1976.
Wow.
Yeah. Fascinating. It didn't work out, but fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We always get gold with you. Always get gold.
Or people listening are like, back to the episode.
Yes. So meanwhile, Blanche has convinced Rose to stay up all night for a 12-hour I Love Lucy marathon, which is so fun.
This is my jam. There are times, I literally the other night, Michael and I went to Disneyland because we had last week was a very stressful week, and we were like, we're going to Disneyland today. And so we went to Disneyland on Friday. And then we came home and I was like, I love tonight because I don't have to work tomorrow. I don't got to do shit tomorrow. We can stay up late. We can watch our programs. We're watching Gilded Age right now, again, for the second time. We're like, we can watch our programs. We can eat junk food. We can be lazy and stay up until 4 a.m. And that's just like what we love to do. We love to do that. So I love these kind of nights. I love these kind of nights.
I love these kind of nights. I miss these kind of nights. I'm not going to be able to have nights like this until I'm like 70, but I'll take it.
You will. When little Oreo's like 8 or whatever, you can like, she'll have a sleepover and then you and Stan can like boom, boom. And then you can like stay up until like 4 a.m. watching, I don't know what you guys watch. Like, I don't know.
Trashy
cartoon.
reality shows.
I don't know.
And
yeah.
reality show competitions.
Exactly. Yes. You could watch like the chefs of the top.
The Trader Chefs.
Yes.
Pump rules. Yes. Yeah. It's also fun that they're watching a marathon and they've got this beautiful spread of like these women. If they eat all this food, they have an entire tray of donuts.
I love this even more because it's exactly how Michael prepares for like a night like that. I love that.
I love it. And it reminds me of like Golden Girls marathons that are on TV.
Yep. It reminds me of my Sundays. One of my favorite things on Sundays is on TV Land, they do a Golden Girls like block of programming where it's like a long morning into the afternoon. And after I get my newspaper and I get my coffee together and I sit on my couch and I catch up on my political program so I know what's going on in the world and everything. And then I switch over to the Golden Girls and it's like a delightful day of just me being lazy with my little tea or coffee or whatever and just Golden Girls.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So they're watching the marathon. Oh, and I should say also, if you're in the GGVIP Club on Patreon, if you haven't yet listened to our interview with producer Marsha Posner-Williams, she tells a great story about a time that Lucille Ball visited the set of the Golden Girls during a taping. That was a great story.
It's a great month to subscribe. That way you can hear that story too.
Yep, a lot of Lucille Ball.
Yeah.
I also love that Blanche and Rose are sharing the most comfortable blanket. Like you're right, the setting, all of it.
It's just
the
so cozy.
The snacks, the giant plastic cup with ice and soda in it.
Yes.
I miss those days. I miss those days of having candy.
You can have candy.
I know I can. I also love that Blanche has invited Rose to do this, and God bless Rose, she's asking so many questions, and I love it when she's like, well, why didn't Desi play as Desi? He wasn't tall enough.
That's Michael. It reminds me of that episode of The Office where they're watching Glee, and then Phyllis literally asks, which one is Glee?
Oh, God, it's so funny.
I hate it. I hate it. Don't ask me questions during a show. Do not. I will jump in. I never ask questions.
I think I may have told this on the podcast before. I once live tweeted my mother-in-law's commentary throughout A Quiet Place while we watched it. It was so cute. It was like, wait, why aren't they talking? Oh, she was Mary Poppins. Now, why'd they go and have a baby? Oh, they can talk now. It was like the cutest.
I love that.
The cutest. Yeah, I love my mother-in-law's commentary. She's the one who watched. She was watching. Oh my God, what was the movie? Murder on the Dance Floor. Come on.
Oh yeah, Saltburn.
And
then she got to the end and she was like,
she got to the end and she recorded that whole scene off the TV on her phone and then showed it to me. And then we watched it together.
I love a lady who likes a good nude moment. I do.
Yeah.
Text me.
It was great.
Yes.
So Dorothy is like lamenting standing in the doorway while they're watching I Like Lucy, lamenting about her concerns for Kate. Like Blanche and Rose are so distracted by the TV that they're not really paying attention.
Yeah.
I feel bad. I do that to Stan all the time.
Oh, you do?
I'll have like an earbud in and I'm like watching like a murder trial on Court TV's YouTube page. And he's like asking me something about like taxes. And I'm like, yeah, And he's like, and then he'll say something. And then my next answer will have, it really requires me to have known what he said a moment ago. And I'll just be like, I'm so sorry. I take it out. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I was not listening at all, even though I responded. What was that? I do it all the time.
I do that too.
So Blanche and Rose finally get up. They go sit with Dory at the kitchen table while she pours her heart out and they bring over ice cream. I'm so concerned about the amount of sugar that these two women are eating tonight. They're never going to sleep.
Get it, girl. They don't need to sleep. They're having an all-nighter.
No, I guess so. They do stay up all night.
Exactly. And it leads to a Rose moment that is quite literally one of my favorite Blanche reactions in the history of this program, and we're gonna play it right after this break because I'm obsessed.
So to set this moment up, all of the women are sitting around the table talking about men cheating, which again, I love it on this show when it's like, what is the central theme topic that we're talking about? And then what are all of these women's individual POVs on it?
Yeah.
Dorothy says that when she found out that Stan cheated, I guess for the first time, she cut the crotch out of all of his pants. And then there's the story of Rose, who when she thought Charlie was cheating on her because one night he came home from work and he went right to bed. And I think we should just let the clip speak for itself.
Rose, I don't want to encourage long stories, but it seems in this story you left out the
story.
That's the word.
Well, Charlie went right to sleep. We didn't, well, no. When he promised? No. It's just that was the first time that had ever happened in 18 years of married life.
Get out of here.
Well, no wonder you've never heard of I Love Lucy.
I mean, this is so funny.
You put on so much jewelry.
I have a lot of my Sadie jewelry here from the other day, and so I decided to put it all on.
Hold it up. Wow.
Yes, it's not even half of it. I got it all down here.
Wow.
But what I love about this is that, you'd think Blanche would potentially go in a direction of being jealous, which she kind of is a little bit.
I mean,
there's a layer of jealousy there, sure.
Yeah.
That said, she is more like kind of almost turned on by it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's like a level of like, ooh, tell me more. Tell me more. And she gets
it's a real Grease moment. Yeah.
I mean, I'm into it. I like it.
Until Rose is like, because, she's like, you don't even like to talk about sex. And she's like, well, I find that people talk about it, don't really do it that much.
And then it's fury. Fury.
Yes, then she's feeling the fury, the Mad Max fury, the guy fury. I could go on all night. I'm having a silly moment. It's also crazy to think that in just a few seasons, Rose will once again be revisited by the fear that Charlie cheated on her when she discovers the double exposed photos that Blanche took.
Yeah, which is like wild to think about. That whole episode was about an accident.
Yeah, it was just about like
That's a lot of emotional energy expended for an accident.
for a whoopsie. Yeah.
Whoopsie. Like from someone at a Walmart.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like, oh, I spilled something. Whoops.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of emotional energy for that. So then Dennis shows up.
Oh my God. Dennis, the thing that I don't mind that he cheated. Could he have been hotter? Like I want the first Dennis, because this isn't the Dennis from the first time we met Kate.
No, it's not.
And this Dennis?
This is Dennis number 2.
The first Dennis, in a weird way, did it for me. Like he had an energy to him that was like, he's geeky, but he also there's something to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this guy, no, it didn't. He's funny though, but no, it doesn't work for me.
Well, yes, he has a funny moment. If someday down the road, my child's partner ever calls me Mother Kerri,
Mother Kerri,
I will lose my mind.
I would too. I mean,
Mother Dorothy.
I don't even call. I don't call anyone who isn't my parent mom or dad. Like I don't. That's just not. I just don't do that. I call them by their names because
I don't call Stan's parents by their names anymore.
What do you call them, mom and dad?
No,
or
I
grandma
call them
and grandpa.
I call them Grandmom and Grandpop.
Yeah, for the kid. I get that. I get that for the kid.
But
I get that for the kid.
I even say it when little Oreo's at preschool.
I mean, I get it. I get that.
I still call them Grandmom and Grandpop.
But if in my situation, like if Michael came to my mom's home, my family's home, and said, "Mom," I would definitely be like, because I don't even call my stepdad Dad. I call him Charlie by his name.
Mm-hmm.
It's more civilized.
I mean, I don't know. We're all over the place. Stan's mom calls Stan Mommy, and Stan's mom calls her dog Mommy.
Wow.
And I guess growing up...
Can I just say, I need to say this right now. And
I'm sorry, she doesn't call him that all the time, but when he was growing up, I think she called him Mommy.
Stan's parents, because here they are calling each other Mommy and Daddy. She's taking video of some dude's dick in a movie and sending it to her daughter-in-law. And they're magicians.
I'm telling you.
I love these people.
They are the best.
I need to meet them someday.
They're the best. You will meet them someday. They will love you. They're the best. They're the absolute best.
Obsessed.
So let's see. Where am I in my notes? Oh, so Dennis shows up. And he's like, "Kate, please talk to me." And so she like opens the door, like, "Go ahead into the kitchen."
Yeah.
And they go into the kitchen, and then Dorothy to Rose and Blanche is like, I know my daughter. Doesn't matter what he says. She's going to see right through it. And again, I understand where Dorothy's coming from because, like, look at how many times Stan cheated on her. She's pulling from her experiences. She's like, doesn't matter what he says. She's going to know, like, this isn't a good dude.
Yeah.
But to Dorothy's surprise, once again, she's surprised in this episode. That is not what happened.
Nope, it is not.
And I do. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you go. No, you go.
I mean, let's play the clip. Let's play the clip because it gets to a point. I kind of agree with Kate here. I'm in Kate's boat on this one.
Oh, goodness. Well, let's talk about it out of the clip. And you have to watch the video version of this because this is where Deena is wearing the most fantastic Blanche Devereaux looking robe. I love it.
It's true. It's true. Let's play the clip.
Dennis explained everything.
Explained? Explained what? How he did it? I explained that to you when you were 12.
I can live with his apology. He's very sorry. He promised he'll never do it again. I don't want to end my marriage over this.
Well, I think you're making a big mistake, Kate.
Mom, Dennis is my husband, and if I can forgive him, then you should too.
Forgive him?
Look, it's my marriage. I never should have come here in the first place. That was a big mistake. We'll be out of here first thing in the morning.
I love Dennis's little like scared to walk in front of Dorothy moment.
I love that too. I feel like that was something that wasn't in the script, that was probably discovered during rehearsals, and it was just a really fun moment. Great directing.
No, I'm with Kate on this one in that, first off, they don't have kids. They're young. Things happen, and they're new at marriage, and they probably had interesting childhoods that maybe did not have the best examples of fathers and how men should act with one another necessarily, or with other people. And so I'm kind of with Kate in this one, in that, like, no harm, no foul. It's not like you're breaking apart a family after like 40, 50 years, or like, ruining a kid's life, or doing it. It's just like a one-time thing, and you can go to therapy and you can like talk it out and have a real conversation about what you want from each other's relationship. And if you want to be open, great. If you don't, or if you want to have, a tradition, like, you can do all the things, and you can just have more communication.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Kate's going there.
I agree. I also just noticed, and I think this was intentional, is that we, the audience, and we, as in Dorothy, in this moment, don't get the details. Because when you said to me, like, would you forgive him? Whatever. It's like, well, I don't know. I don't know the details. But that's not the point, right? Because for Dorothy, the details don't matter, because this isn't her marriage. And at the end of the day, and her life. And at the end of the day, this is Kate's decision. And it's about, is she going to support that or not? She doesn't have to agree. She doesn't have to understand, but Kate's asking her to respect it. So I actually think it's a really interesting decision that the writers made for us not to know what happened.
Yeah. Because, and who knows? What if he had an affair with feet?
Oh.
What if he has a foot fetish?
Do you think it was one of his patients?
What if he has a foot fetish?
See, this is where I start to ask the questions, where I go like, was it one of his patients? Was it someone that, like, was it a mutual friend of theirs? Was this like a long time? Was this just like a one-night physical hookup with a stranger? Was this an emotional affair first? All of these questions that would, I think, for me, sort of, help dictate whether or not I was going to forgive, and when, and whatever. But it's not us. It's Kate, and we're the Dorothy in this situation.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True.
I also really, really love the story that Sophia tells Dorothy in her bedroom about, again, it's the parallels. It's, Sophia's telling Dorothy this story, being like, yo, I was you at one point.
Yeah.
About how it was Dorothy and Stan's first anniversary, and she showed up at Sophia's house crying, upset. Dorothy had made a big dinner. Stan came home late, had no gift, and there was lipstick on his shirt, which is like, ugh. And you said to me, Ma, what should I do? She goes like, and I thought, idiot. She goes, Sophia's like, if you could erase this one day, is this still the man you want to spend the rest of your life with?
Yeah.
And Dorothy goes, and I said yes. That's when Sophia goes, and I thought, idiot, but I stayed out of it. And if you don't stay out of it, you're going to lose Kate. Yep. And then this is the part that really killed me. She said, and one day Stan will call you up and tell you about a grandchild that you're never going to see.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine?
And this is where you have to fight all of those instincts about justice and principles and wanting to protect your child. Because, like, Dorothy. Dorothy does not trust this man. Dorothy does not trust Dennis. I would have loved to have seen their relationship come back around in some way.
Yeah, I know. But maybe, I guess we just never saw it at all, ever. You know what I mean? Like,
no, and we never saw... None of their kids came to when Dorothy and Stan were going to get married again, when Dorothy was going to marry Lucas, when Sophia's getting married. None of the kids come around.
Yeah, so
they
wild.
They come to their parents with problems, but then they're like, oh, what's that? You're getting married again?
I feel like we brought that up with her. And like, yeah, we did because we had the chat with Deena a couple weeks ago. So I'm trying to remember exactly what we chatted about. But I believe we talked about how the kids didn't show up at the wedding, and that it would have been great if she came back as Dorothy's daughter in future episodes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, find out like how Dennis is doing. How is she doing? Do they have a baby now?
Yeah.
But yeah, so Dorothy's left to think on Sophia's advice, which again, beautiful storytelling, beautiful, just beautiful character stuff in these early episodes.
Onions, golden onions.
Layers, deep character stuff. So the next morning, Dorothy and Stan take Dennis out on the Lanai for a chat. And if you'd never, the way that Dorothy's like, you, Dennis, like outside, if you've never seen this show before, you may think that you might be like, oh my God, is she going to murder him? Because like, is she going to take him outside? Is she going to throw him in the back of Rose's gremlin and dump him into the swampland that she and Stan thought that they were going to retire in?
Not the gremlin. Oh yeah, Stan can be like, Dorothy, we got a house.
Yeah, we got that swampland. Let's just bury him. Now Dorothy and Stan are really tied for life because now they've committed murder and dumped a body together.
We have. I think you just found the Golden Girls Cozy Mystery Part 2.
The mystery
Although the swamp
of the Miami swampland.
Murdering someone and dumping them in a swampland is not so cozy.
It's not very cozy. No, it's not cozy. It's not sexy.
No.
It's not golden. I like that they chose the Lanai for the speech because just looking at it, looking at the blocking, looking at the camera angles, the camera shots, it is very reminiscent of Dorothy giving her big speech to Stan and Guess Who's Coming to the Wedding. Except this time it's her and Stan as a team, but it's still Dorothy confronting a man about cheating and about hurt and about pain. And I love that that's where they did that. It just was, it really did. It painted a picture for me.
Full circle. Closure.
And that, my friends, is called closure.
Closure.
Wait, what is that from again?
Closure. I don't know. I just went with you.
Oh, God.
I was yes-anding
people are
you.
screaming at us. Will you do me a favor and Google quote, and that, my friends, is called closure?
Yes.
Is it Friends? Is it How I Met Your Mother? I think it's Friends.
I don't think.
I want to say it's Ross on Friends.
Oh my God. Right. Yeah, it's Friends. It's Rachel.
It's Rachel when she's drunk with the phone. Got it.
Yeah.
When she leaves Ross the voicemail. I got it. Okay. I got there.
Wow.
So Dorothy explains to Dennis that seeing your child hurt is worse than any pain you yourself could possibly feel. As someone who is a mother who has seen her child's arm come out of its elbow joint because we didn't know that you're not supposed to pick kids up by the hands and swing them around, or they can get something called nursemaid's elbow. We went to the doctor and I was like, this is what happened. And she was like, it's nursemaids elbow. We'll pop it back into place. It'll be okay. It's 100% true that when your child feels pain, that it feels 100 times worse than any pain that you could possibly feel about yourself.
I mean, I'm not surprised if you're actually, I'm not surprised by that.
I'm not like making a revelation. I'm not saying like, guys, I know this seems crazy. I'm just saying, like, again, we watched these episodes 10 years later. Now, as a mother, that just really spoke to me.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
These are the new insights. These are the new insights that I talk about in the intro.
Timely.
If we don't have new insights, what are we even doing?
Wow, timely. I feel it. I feel your pain, but not as hard as you feel yours.
Hers.
Whatever.
Yeah. So Dennis promises that nothing like this will ever happen again.
Sure, Dennis.
Dennis. Sure, Jan.
Yeah.
And then Dorothy's like, great, because if it does, I will break every bone in your body.
And she will.
Yeah. Stan's like, yeah, keep it zip, buddy.
Yeah.
Do you think that Dennis stayed faithful?
No. I don't think, and I think, I mean, it's so hard. I know I have a very queer, whatever view of relationships and whatever, but I think if you're not wired that way, you're not supposed to be that way. And you're supposed to find people that you can have that open communication with, that you find someone who is the same way as you, that your values align, so that maybe if you're not the person that can stay monogamous with one person in that way, well, maybe you shouldn't be in a monogamous relationship with one person. Maybe you should be in a relationship with someone who's okay with being pan or open or whatever, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
That's
totally agree.
That's all.
I think that's all. That's all.
Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I think it all depends on how much work Dennis was willing to put into the relationship and himself. Like you
Yeah.
said, like,
But that's the thing
Kate
too. I don't
probably
think
made
he
him go
needs
to
to
counseling.
put in work. I don't think he needs to. He just, I mean, maybe they shouldn't be together, and maybe Kate. I don't know. I don't know where this. We don't know where this relationship went because we don't know anything about them after this. But I think maybe he doesn't need to change. Maybe she needs to realize maybe this person isn't for me because we have different values. Like I don't think the need to change someone is a thing. I think maybe have an open communication about how people are is the thing.
That I agree with. However, it appears that
And Dennis is not being truthful to himself.
well then that's a different story. But
Yeah.
it seems like at least from his conversation with Kate, he's like, this was a one-time thing. It's never going to happen again. He says it to Dorothy. It's never going to happen again.
Lie, but also Kate is not realizing that when, just like what Maya Angelou said, or I think it was her, when people show you who they are, believe them.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't make them bad people.
No.
It just makes them who they are. And
Right.
so you recognize that, you see them, and you don't blind yourself just because you want them to be a particular way. Guess what? They ain't never going to be that way.
Yeah. So I guess the answer is that no, he didn't stay faithful. And
No, he has a foot fetish and he's tickling.
yeah, he's out tickling.
Yeah.
I love that Dorothy hugs too hard when she's mad. That's just like a fun
That's her
Dorothy thing.
Yeah, she squeezes people to death.
And I love the end moment of, Blanche saying, "You may not be a grandmama yet, but you're a darn good mama."
No.
And then Dorothy's like, "And Kate's going to be a darn good mama too someday."
The fact that you can go through all of that and then think, oh my God, she's going to have kids with this man. They're not meant to be together.
Yeah. I would worry because again, yeah, but Dorothy's just got to let her do her thing because because the thing is if Dorothy fixates on, well, now they're going to try to have a kid and he's clearly going to cheat on her again. And then Kate's really going to be in a position that I'm in where I have a shared children with my ex, but she can't let her mind go there because she doesn't want it to affect her relationship with Kate.
That might be the end of the episode, but it's not the end of this episode because
and it's not the end of the story.
No, it's not. There's more to it, and I'm just waiting for Michael to come to town. Ooh, give me a fan. I've got a fan near me.
Yeah, get a fan.
I don't have. But while I fan myself off, we'll be right back with Kate number 2, Deena Freeman. Oh my God!
Yes, we hope you enjoy it, and then we'll do our golden takeaways.
But if you want to, like we said, if you want to listen to the full interview, make sure you go to the Patreon this month and subscribe at the $8 level to hear all wonderful 30-some minutes of our chat. Yeah, mine. Deena, you just gave me a little nugget that got me so excited. Before we started recording, you said you had watched your episode of The Golden Girls Stay Son-in-Law Dearest, which I love that you came prepared and did that. And also, how does it feel to rewatch that? When was the last time you saw that episode?
Oh, years. I don't know how many years ago. Maybe 5 years ago, maybe longer.
What did it feel like watching it? What was going through your head?
It was actually, I could stand back because usually when I watch things that I've just done, then I kind of put myself into it as it's going. Sometimes even when you watch actors getting an Academy Award and they show their projects, you'll see them almost mouthing their lines because they're in it. But I was just kind of watching myself because I was much younger and I'm going, oh, it's actually better than I thought.
You're so good.
You're so good in it. I would say
It was such a delight to work with women, and
both of the Kates, you're my favorite Kate. I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna say it right now. You're my favorite Kate on the show. I mean, literally, you did of Dorothy's of the kids of all the except for Michael. I have a soft spot in my heart for Dorothy's son Michael, but that's because of he took his shirt off, but whatever. Like you're fantastic. So Deena, how does it feel to have a small part of the legacy of the Golden Girls?
It's wonderful, but it's so interesting because I didn't realize that's what's, I mean, I'm realizing it now, but I didn't, of course, obviously didn't realize it at the time, except it was just a wonderful show to be on, it's fantastic. I think it's great and well deserved. Those women, I mean, I found myself laughing all the time today watching the show. I did watch another episode several weeks ago when you contacted me, and I watched on the TV and I was just laughing. They're just wonderful. The timing, you learn from the best, and then you're better. I become better because they're so great,
It's absolutely,
it's a pleasure to feed off of somebody so wonderful,
Now, you're in the second season. Had you seen the show prior to auditioning for it?
That's a really good question. I probably did, because that would be my homework to do that. So I probably did, but I never saw the other actress who played Kate in the first season.
Yes, Lisa Jane Persky. Right. So she played Kate season 1, episode 2. I do have to say, of the two of you, you look a lot more like the daughter of B. Arthur and Herb Edelman than she did,
and the voice,
by miles.
The voice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You definitely match.
I felt like mother and daughter. It felt that way. It was pretty neat.
Well, I want to go back to that week of sort of doing it before you even. We'll talk about recording in a minute. But what do you remember the audition process? Do you remember what it was like? And then when you got the call that you got the part?
No, I don't. I just remember going, the only thing I remember is going in and feeling really right for it. I felt like I looked like her. I felt like sounded her, and I had a hook on the character. So I felt really good about it, and it was a very inviting group of people, and they also knew me from other stuff. So it just felt I felt welcomed. And that's all I remember from it. I don't remember, that was the callback is what I don't even remember the first audition, but I remember the callback.
And do you recall anything of what that week was like before the taping? Like what the process was of rehearsals or table reads or anything?
Well, you always have a table read when you're shooting. If it was shot, I don't remember. It was probably shot on a Friday night. So we had to take it Monday. So bless you. No, it was just fun hanging out I do remember just being with the women. I had gone out with Estelle Getty when she was in Torch Song Trilogy a couple of years before. I think it was 2 years before I actually went up for the part. I went with a friend, and I don't remember who I went with, but afterwards we went out with Estelle, and she was such a hoot. Yeah, after the show.
I need to know more about that night. What did you drink? What jokes did you say? Who'd you see?
What did Estelle eat?
What did you eat? What were you wearing? Deena, I need to know all of it.
He was not like the character, I'll tell you. He's so funny. Oh my God.
Do you remember anything of sort of because if you go in and I guess you knew Estelle obviously then before you went in for that week. So
remind her who I was. I said, I remember we met. Yeah. And then I remember the table read, and I remember we didn't really hang out together, but we were I was part of the group. I was part of the group. I remember what I ate, actually.
What did you eat? Was craft services good?
Do a show that's live. I always feel like it's good. I have to have carbs, right? It's not protein. Funny thing. Now I would do the opposite. I would definitely do protein, but in those days it was carbs. So I know I had a carb meal, whatever it was.
I love that. I love that.
No, but it was a real treat. Yeah, it was great. And I just could not believe, because I grew up watching B. Arthur on different shows, and I could not believe I was working with her.
Playing her daughter.
What's that? And playing her daughter. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the bulk of your scenes were with
I'm
B.
sorry.
Arthur. The bulk of your scenes were with B. Was that intimidating given that she is B. Arthur?
It was for me in one little scene. When we were sitting at the table in the kitchen and she held my hand. And so this is a little technical thing, but I'll tell you what my thoughts are about that scene, and then I'll tell you what my thoughts are now about the scene now that I just saw it. So when I was doing it and I put my hand down on the table and I was really depressed, she put her hand on me, right? The character wanted to pull away because it's just like when you're feeling badly, I don't want like somebody hugging me or it's going to be okay. But Deena got in the way and I left it there because I didn't want B, this is like all going on, to think that I didn't want, it was just like I got in the way of the character. Mm-hmm. I really wanted to pull it away, which would have been right too. So I looked at it, of course, today, and I said, you know what? It did work. Mm-hmm. I've been very critical of that because I knew what was going on, that I got in the way of the character. Mm-hmm. And that's a big lesson for any actor. You really need to go with your gut where you are in the scene at the moment.
And that was very much like, I mean, we've had other people on who worked with B over the years, worked intimately with B, and she was very much that type of actor who was very natural in her. She didn't think about doing a thing again. Instinctual, exactly. So like what you're describing and how you approached it is actually how everyone says B also approached her work.
Yeah.
I actually took note of that, of when I was watching it earlier, of her putting her hand on your hand. And I thought, that's so sweet. I feel like we've never really seen Dorothy being incredibly affectionate with her children in such a gentle way. And it was a very sweet thing. I will say, the look on your face, you didn't look like you wanted to pull away. So the Deena was coming through in that moment versus the Kate, so it definitely you were emoting in the same way that you were sort of reacting to the hand holding. So I did notice it. It's such a small thing, but it's such a really sweet moment.
Yeah, that's interesting. Also, when we greeted each other, I just, looked back and she just, we hugged each other.
Baby!
Her, and that I went along with it. It was just great for the relationship,
Do you have any memories of like what taping was like and that the whole sort of, once you're finally at that moment of working with these icons, like what it was like being?
No, I was just in it.
Yeah.
Otherwise I was out of it in the kitchen for a minute, but I was in it when I was doing it. So I wasn't thinking, oh my God, I'm hugging B now, or none of that. Then I really wouldn't be, in it.
When you're
sorry. No. You had the big sort of sad walk away act break moment of the episode. Did that kind of add any pressure to that part of the performance for you, knowing that was the big act break?
You're talking about when I got upset with her?
When you got upset with her. I know you have to basically tell B. Arthur off, which is again very intimidating. But you tell her that basically you're going to forgive Dennis, and if she can't handle that, then that's not good, and you kind of storm off.
And what was your question?
Oh, just if you remember that adding any kind of pressure to the moment, knowing that you had the big act break moment.
Not at all. No, because it's just part of the character. It was
like I'm a professional now.
I needed to do it, and then that's what I did, and I needed to get through. And when you're playing opposite great people, I've played opposite some incredible actors in my time. Just you make them better, they make you better, and it's just you look at her and she is like right there. You know what I mean? And I was right with her.
Yeah.
It was easy. It was like I could make contact with her. She made contact with me. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah.
And we are back with our golden takeaways. Oh my God, I don't know how we're going to follow a golden takeaway with that lovely, lovely little teaser of a chat we had with the lovely Deena Freeman, but we'll try. If you remember, a golden takeaway is a nugget of truth or inspiration that you can apply to your lives or the lives of our listeners. Kerri, what's your golden takeaway from this episode?
Well, I have two. One is I do want to make sure for those listeners who live in Los Angeles and may not be part of the Patreon, I want to tell everybody about Deena's acting studio. It's called the Deena Freeman Kids and Teens Acting Studio. It's here in Los Angeles. Look it up, DeenaFreeman.com. Support her, share her business, give her some love.
Deena.
Give her some love.
Deena.
You can find her. You can find it on, they're on Facebook, they're on Instagram. You can even just drop her a line and tell her you enjoyed her performance and hearing her on the podcast. Just show her some love. She was so wonderful, so lovely that she talked to us. And yeah, if you have a kid or a teen and they're into acting, send them over to her studio. She's lovely. Her thoughts on acting were so fun and insightful to listen to. That's my first golden takeaway. My second golden takeaway is about the title of this episode.
Oh.
So this episode is called Son-in-Law Dearest, which is a take on Mommy Dearest. Why?
Oh, I just wore a Mommy Dearest inspired dress yesterday. Sorry.
You're like talking to little Oreo. I'm like, what do you want for breakfast? And she was like, Cookie Monster said the funniest thing in my dreams last night. I'm like, what? How? Okay, show me your, let's see I would love to see a mommy. Show me the eyebrows.
It's a Christina one. It's a Christina one.
Oh, that's fun.
But
that's gorgeous.
Yeah, you're welcome. No, but
that looks good.
Mommy Dearest. What about Mommy Dearest?
Just do the math for me.
Okay.
The episode's called Son-in-Law Dearest, a play on Mommy Dearest.
Yes.
Why?
I don't think it is a play on Mommy Dearest. I think it is. Does it say that it was a play on Mommy Dearest somewhere?
Well, it does on IMDb, but anybody can submit it back to IMDb.
I don't think it was because while there was cheating in Mommy Dearest, sure, sort of, not really. Yes, there was. There was the one husband who cheated,
and he calls her mother Dorothy.
Yeah, but that's not a part of.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't think that. I don't think there was a connection to Mommy Dearest. If there was, it was not a clear necessarily connection. I think it was just sort of like a pun because Mommy Dearest had just come out a couple of years before this. You know what I mean? It was just like a title they used to. I don't know. I just don't see the Mommy Dearest connection to it because I watch Mommy Dearest like monthly. I know that movie.
There are no wire hangers. I was just curious. Okay, that's my golden takeaway. What's yours?
My golden takeaway is when you're about to have, let's say little Oreos.
You were positioning yourself. What were you?
I am. Because I almost fell off the chair. When you're about to have a night where little Oreo's out or whatever, and for me, the other night when we can stay up late and we can watch our things, and you can't watch reality TV, you have to pick one show, not the Golden Girls, because we all know that would be our answer, but not the Golden Girls. You have to pick one show. What would the one show be that you stay up until dawn to watch? Now I'll give mine because I just threw that on you, and I don't want you to have to think on the spot. My show for my comfy little night in, doesn't matter how late we stay up, what we eat, whatever goes on, not if we're talking during it, I think is going to be the Sex and the City.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be Sex and the City. I was gonna say maybe Will and Grace, maybe The Office, but I feel like it's got to be Sex and the City.
I think for Stan and I, it would have to be a show that we hadn't seen before, and it's also really fun for it to be like a serialized show. So it would be something like if we were to do it today. Which, by the way, are you offering to babysit? I feel like that's what you were doing. Is that you were offering to come over and stay?
I don't think you want me to babysit, but I would if you need me to.
I think you'd be a great babysitter.
I don't know about that. I'm always worried I'm going to kill someone.
Well, now you can't, but
I'm just saying. I'm being honest here. I'm
I
always
appreciate your
thinking like,
honesty.
what if someone dies?
No, but that actually would make you a really good babysitter because you would be you'd be hyper vigilant. Like, you would be like, "Are you okay to eat that piece of food? Should I cut that up smaller for you?" Like that would be great.
Yeah.
You'd just be like us. I think we would watch a show like we haven't watched the latest season of White Lotus, for example.
Oh
So
my God.
we'd watch something like
How
that.
do you not watch White Lotus? How are you not?
Because
a part
I
of
don't have Apple
Do
anymore.
you even understand my
I've had to
posts
stay
on
off
Instagram?
Twitter. I've had to stay off Twitter. I've had to just if I see Parker Posey, I'm just like scroll.
So you don't. So when I go Piper, no tsunami.
I mean,
do you know what I'm talking about?
Seen. I mean, that's sort of like the gays are trying to murder me. Right? That's that of this season. Yeah.
Yes.
So that I've like heard, but I don't feel like that spoils anything.
Kerri, no.
Yeah. I mean, I love Parker Posey.
So
it's
do I.
Just so good.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna have to drink myself to sleep.
Yeah. Sure.
You gotta watch.
Yeah.
You gotta watch.
I'll watch. Hey, when we go, we're gonna go see Stan's parents soon, and they have Apple TV, so I'll watch it then.
Oh well, you should tell her that in one of the episodes there's a penis, so she should have her phone out. And
okay, I will. I will.
There's also a very
Me and my
uncomfortable
mother-in-law
scene
looking at
between two
Dawn.
brothers. I'm just saying.
Okay, great. Looking forward to it. This feels like a pretty good place to end, right?
Yeah.
On that. All right, everyone, this has been Out on the Lanai. We're so glad that you joined us this week. And remember, you can check out our full interview with Deena Freeman over at patreon.com/Golden Girls Podcast. You can support us over there. If you love what we're doing and you want more of us, we give you so much more of us. And you can sign up for free, but you get most of the stuff at the $5 and $8 a month.
And
levels.
if you're still sticking around for all of this, thank you for staying with this chaotic episode that we just have delivered to you. You can type Parker Posey in the comments, and that's how we'll know you're still listening.
Yeah.
We're part of Mom, so Moguls of Media. So go subscribe to Mom Plus. You can also follow us on social media at Golden Girls Pod on Twitter, Out on the Lanai Official on Instagram, Golden Girls Pod on Facebook, and I'm HAlanScott / Sadie Pines on everything.
And I'm Squidzy on Instagram and Squid Eat Squid on Twitter. Not super active, though, these days. And if you want to do something else nice for the podcast, you can leave us a rating and review wherever you get this podcast.
Parker Posey. And remember,
as always.
Wait, let's say it like Parker Posey's character in White Lotus, okay?
I'm going to try my best.
Yeah. Stay golden.
Stay golden.
Stay golden.
There you go.
Tsunami. Golden. Cock.
Out on the Lanai is not endorsed by Whit Thomas Harris Productions, Touchstone Television, Disney, or any of its subsidiaries. It is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only.
All names, pictures, audio, and video clips of the Golden Girls are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of their respective trademark and/or copyright holders.